So we give people so much power over us, and that shapes the way we see ourselves, the way we think. Because once you get to know yourself, the opinion about you will not matter anymore. Even if they say, oh, you're stupid, you're ugly, but you know you're not. So that's not really going to affect you. And even for me, as a teacher, what I tell my students is you need to believe in yourself, because sometimes they might know the right answer, but they're not going to say it because they're afraid it might be wrong, and then other student will laugh at them. I say, you know what, even if it's wrong, we learn by making mistakes. You just need to believe in yourself, believe in your answer, give it. Even if it's wrong, it's wrong. Now you know the right answer. The next time you're going to give me the right answer. So we need that belief in ourselves as well, and then it only comes by knowing yourself. Because even if no one believes in you, as long as you believe in yourself, you can still move on and do amazing things by just believing in yourself. Because you don't need a lot of people to cheer you on, because nowadays it's not really going to happen. But just believe in that power of one, which is you. Know who you are, and then start from there. Let other people think or say whatever they want to say. Because if you don't reach that point, you will believe anything anybody tells you, anything and anybody says about you to other people, and that will start affecting you. Even if you are a very confident person, trust me, you will lose that confidence, because you hear so many things coming from so many directions, and at the end of the day, you don't even know who you are anymore. You don't know what to believe anymore. You're just going to believe whatever you hear.
And it's a very stupid misconception when people think, oh, just if you're going through some sort of abuse or anything like that, oh, just get over it. If it was that easy, believe you me, I would have done it. It's not that easy. When somebody is chipping away at you little by little, you end up losing your sense of self. You end up losing your sense of worth. You end up stop seeing yourself. Even if you look at yourself and you think to yourself, oh, I look pretty today, but you will not see that. Instead, you will see yourself the way that person or those people see you. So that is the most stupidest thing that I hear when people say to you, oh, you're just being overly too sensitive. Just get over it. If it was that easy, believe you me, there won't be so many people sitting looking for help. People will not be thinking of taking their own lives if it was that easy. So sometimes, instead of you giving some stupid advice which you think is helpful, think about it. Go back to the time where you needed somebody to be there for you. Go back to the time when you were hurting. Use the same compassion that you were hoping somebody would have shown to you. Use it to approach other people. Let us stop being self-centered and thinking that we know it all. We don't know it all. And none of us has got it together. None of us. I'm telling you, none of us. Because if we have got it together, why do we all of us, when we're facing a situation, we want to be seen to be right? When we are in a confronting situation, we want to be seen to be right.
Justified.
Yeah. When we do certain things, we want our name to be put at the dotted line. So we want recognition for what we have done. Every one of us, we have one or two things, or some of us 10 things that we are dealing with. But the only way that we can overcome it is by sitting with ourselves. It's uncomfortable, it's hard. But find a mentor. Find somebody that you can be vulnerable to. Find somebody that you can be vulnerable to. I have a mentor. Oh my days, I have a mentor. 99.9% of the time we don't agree. But I speak. Well, I might not agree with her at that particular time, but I hear her. I hear what she's saying. I don't take everything that she's saying, but I evaluate what she has said, and then I compare it to the things that I have done and the result that I have gotten from what I have done. And then I weigh it out and I say to myself, okay, if my way has not worked, why don't I try something else? But at least instead of storing it in for my own emotional well-being, instead of me keeping all that hurt, all that rejection, all that feeling of rejection, all that feeling of not being enough, all that feeling of feeling inferior, not having enough, not being loved, instead of keeping all that in, I would just vomit all those things to her, basically. And sometimes what I realize, my answer comes from my own echo. The things that I've said gives me back the answer. But because I voiced it out, I'm not playing those negative chatters in my head. And that is what magnifies this whole feeling that eventually turns into anxiety and depression. So let us look at the motivation. As I mentioned this, I think the first video that we've ever done. Whatever that we're doing, wherever that we are going, whatever decision that we're making, let us look at the motivation behind those choices. Because if we understand the motivation, then we can choose better. And when we choose better, we do better.
So even when people don't understand.
Absolutely. Oh, I have a lot of
people
that, and that is okay. That is okay. The more confident that you are with yourself, the more self-sufficient that you have become. And when I say that, it's not about being arrogant. You know, I do not feel like I'm better than anybody else, but I also know my worth. Just because I know my worth and I'm shining my own light doesn't mean that you have to shut your own light off. But I'm not going to. What I have learned is coming from where I'm coming from, dealing with the experiences that I have dealt with. What I've realized is, just because you are playing it small, I'm not going to turn off my own light to make you feel better. Even if it means you dislike me, that's okay. That's absolutely okay. I first need to be enough for me. And it would be great if people that we care about go through the journey with us. But even the closest person, if they choose not to go through the journey with us, that is okay. Because sometimes we need to be removed from the situation to see where we are going. You know, what we talked about, what I learned as well, is the fact that when it comes to validation, sometimes you're surrounded with people that you can see their potential, you can see where they're going, but they themselves don't see it.
Yeah.
And before the old Elsie will kill myself, I will keep pushing and pushing and pushing for them to recognize it. But from my experience, I've learned that I cannot save everybody. And maybe just because I see it doesn't mean that they see it. So what do I do in that situation? I remove myself from that situation, but I still make myself available. When you are now ready to receive whatever it is that I've got in my hands that might be of help to you, then I will give it to you, but I do not push. Because if you don't recognize that you need what I have, there's no way that you're going to receive it. So I hope today has been helpful for you as much as it was for us. Thank you so much. Subscribe, like,
share,
comment. And until we see you next time. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.